Hello again, folks. All right. So, again, as I've stated before, I have a tendency of going back over the same exhibits over and over and over again. This is just good practice when you're in law enforcement or really anything having to do with legal matters. The reason is that you will not always get the same details the first time that you get the second time. You'll always spot something new. And this is one of those times again. Aren't you excited? So I was going back over Bobby Dassey's statement to police on the 27th of February of 2006. Why the fuck would they wait until February to talk to Bobby Dassey? Or was there a previous statement that I'm unaware of? I mean to find that out. I cannot wait for this entire case file to be released, folks, because, maybe I should take up a crowdfunding campaign so that I can pay for the ink and paper just to print this shit. It's going to take me a while, folks. And quite frankly, it's just easier to highlight your shit than it is to take handwritten notes. But anyways, we'll get into that later. So Detective Dietering is the one who wrote this report. And in this report, within the very first one or two paragraphs, he states that he helped a Detective Baldwin interview Barb. So Barb was interviewed by police. That's good to know. I would like to see that report. I am patiently waiting for the crowdsourced documents to be uploaded to the site. And as they're uploaded, I make mental notes or handwritten notes about what I need to review. But I am thoroughly excited to think that hopefully soon Barb Janda's statement to police will be in that file. So excited. Now, Bobby also said that when he returned from hunting, Brian Dassey was not home and he believed that he was at his girlfriend's house. Why wasn't Brian home? And why haven't I seen a statement from him yet? Inquiring minds want to know. Now, Bobby does say that when he left for work at roughly 9:30-ish that evening, 9:30, 10, that Stephen did have a fire going and the flames were 5 to 6 feet in height. Interesting, because Scott and him are the only ones who say that the flames were higher than what other people have said that they are. And some people have even said that they didn't even know that there was a bonfire there at all. Some people have said that there wasn't a bonfire, period. I would love to fucking know if there was or there wasn't one. That's kind of important. He then told police that why the police started questioning him specifically about Brendan at this point in time is very interesting to me. Little weird. What the fuck? Why? But they asked Bobby if Brendan would lie about anything. And he said, well, I know that he's told, some little lies, but for the big stuff, he would never lie about that. Set up! He set him up. But then he also did tell police that he did not notice a change in Brendan at all in the weeks following October 31st of 2005. Okay, so apparently Kayla's the only one who noticed any kind of a change in Brendan. And Kayla's only his cousin. She doesn't live with him. Why would you take the cousin's word over the brother's? That's just bad policing right there, folks. He then said that he saw Teresa Halbach pull in, get out, and start taking photos. But on the stand, he stated that he saw Teresa only walking towards Stephen Avery's house. So which is it, Bobby? What did you see? Did you see the woman pull up and get out of her fucking car? Did you only see her walking to the house? Because in your statement to police, you said that you only watched her pull in, get out, take pictures, and then you got in the shower. Now, you had to have been standing at that window for at least 1 to 2 minutes to see all that. Why were you standing staring at Teresa Halbach, Bobby? Why? And then on the stand, he says, oh, well, I had just watched her walking towards Steven Avery's house. So what did you see, Bobby? What exactly did you see? You tell me right now, young man. He also said that he saw a Suzuki in Steven Avery's garage, but that he didn't know what had happened to it. That's an interesting point here, folks, because if Teresa Halbach had been killed in the garage, her blood would have been all over that fucking car. If she'd been shot with a .22 long-range rifle, that thing would have been soaked in her blood. Where's the evidence? Oh, that's right. They couldn't plant it. I find this, and I don't know what this detail would mean, but I find it interesting. Bobby said that if Brendan were to confide in anybody, it would have been his friend Travis, who is Robert Fabian's son. Robert Fabian is a friend of Earl Avery, and Robert Fabian actually visited Steven Avery with Earl on the night of the murder. Interesting, isn't that? And then at one point, Detering asks Bobby whether he's ever seen Steven Avery handling a buck knife or a Leatherman. Why would you ask that? What's the point of that question? That was never brought up in trial that I can recall. If anybody's read of that in the transcripts, please let me know. But I have yet to read of anything like that anywhere but this statement. Why? Why? What's the deal with a buck knife or a Leatherman? That's the first I've fucking heard of it. Bobby did, however, tell the police that Brendan Dassey and Steven Avery did not act any differently in the weeks following October 31st of 2005. Okay, in order for you to not act differently after committing a severe fucking murder like that, you have to be a sociopath. And I'm sorry, but neither one of those two exhibit sociopathic traits. Neither one, not a single trait. He also stated to police that Steven Avery did not have any injuries to his arms or his hands following the murder. Folks, if the prosecution is to be believed, Teresa Halbach was shackled to the bed. In the process of shackling her, unless they knocked her the fuck out first, in the process of shackling her, she would have clawed the shit out of Steven Avery. She would have bit and fought like a tigress to get the fuck away. Okay? In the process of everything else, sooner or later, something would have happened. And even if she was tied up, he still would have had marks on his hands or his arms from the rape and from the murdering. Just the very act of stabbing someone. People who have actually committed a stabbing will have marks on the palms of their hands because your hand gets slick with blood and slides down the blade. It happens. It's what happens. There's no way that Steven Avery came away from that murder with not a fucking scratch on him that was unexplainable. Not a single fucking way. And Brendan Dassey didn't have any marks on him whatsoever. In order to commit a murder of that nature, you would get injured in the process, either by the victim or just, through the acts of committing the fucking murder. Something would have happened to you. You would have wound up with wounds or bruises or marks of some kind. Neither one of them had any fucking marks. How do you explain that, cracks? This case stinks to high heaven, folks, and I am going to keep digging. I don't know which document I'm going to review next, but I will be reviewing more documents. Stay tuned, and we'll see you soon. Thank you for watching.